Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
Also, if you are looking for something new and different for the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. The Daily Compliance News for November 14, 2024, the Matt Gaetz as Attorney General edition. We're just going to leave that story there. You can't get any more parody than that. So we're going to go on to some compliance-related stories. First, from the New York Times, that Shell has won an appeal in the landmark Dutch climate case. A lower court had ordered Shell to cut its emissions by 45% by 2030, but the oil giant argued that a single firm should not be hit with arbitrary pollution reduction requirements, and the Court of Appeals in the Netherlands agreed. Of course, it will have to go up for a further appeal, but a good win for Shell, at least at this level. Next up, from the Financial Times, reports that Donald Trump's potential antitrust enforcers may keep big tech in their sights. The article reports that while Trump is considering antitrust officials, they may press on with the Biden administration crackdown on big tech's market power. Given their big tech support of Trump, it's kind of hard to believe, and I'm sure with some very well-tailored contributions and or investments in the Trump empire, they may get a different look. But at this point, they are looking at several people who have worked at the Department of Justice and appear to be robust in their enforcement. Next up, the first of 2 stories from Bloomberg. ADM Archer Daniel Midland's chief compliance officer is leaving the company at a time when there's a month-long accounting scandal has wiped out over $12 billion of value from the commodities trader. Ben Bard, who joined the company over a decade ago, is leaving for personal reasons, no doubt to pursue other opportunities. The next Bloomberg story says that the U.S. ambassador to Latvia has lauded the Baltic countries' efforts to clean up its financial sector after a massive fallout from its money laundering scandal. The U.S. Treasury withdrew the proposed blacklisting of the now defunct ABLV Bank, which triggered a financial storm in 2018, which engulfed the Baltic nations' banking system. The government's measures to since expel illicit financing and shore up lenders has paid off, as they are now being taken off the potential blacklisting by the U.S. government. What happens under the Trump administration, of course, is an open question. And as we found with potentially other industries, a contribution or investment may do well. As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, the sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Well, Ethico has a great new offering this month for you, a toolkit for middle managers. This is something that you, as the compliance professional, can use to move your compliance program forward by giving middle managers the skills necessary to answer a call for speak up or when someone comes in their office and raises a concern. I can't think of a tool that will be more valuable for you in the current era of enforcement. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.